Good morning, Aztecs. This is Kayla Franco with the latest in Montgomery news. Aztecs, our very own Anali Flores has been working hard with the BSU president, Tavia, to develop a new mini-series aimed at teaching you about Black history. Let's go to our very first episode of this series.
Every year during the month of February, we celebrate Black History Month, and every year we learn about the same things. We focus on the same people and the same events. It's time for us to branch out and look at some key events and people we may not know but have done so much for us. Let's dive in and take a deeper look. Here we have Dr. Charles R. Drew. Dr. Drew is the inventor of one of the world's most important places, the blood bank. Dr. Drew researched blood transfusion and transportation efficiency in New York, where he discovered that when you separate the liquid red blood cell from the solid plasma and freeze each separately, the blood can be preserved and used for a later time. With his new discovery, he went on to save millions of lives all over the world and opened the largest blood bank in America, which just so happened to be the first large medical facility owned by a Black person with majority Black staff. He later became the first Black doctor on the Board of Surgery of America in 1941, and even after his tragic death in 1950, he continues to save millions of lives annually. This is Shirley Chisholm. Shirley Chisholm was a Black politician from New York City, an NAACP and Urban League member, and co-founder of the National Women's Political Caucus. She was an outspoken advocate for all who had been disadvantaged, with an emphasis in women and minority women. Shirley Chisholm became the first Black woman to be elected into the U.S. Congress in 1968, and during her 7 terms representing the 12th District of New York City, she introduced over 50 pieces of legislation challenging racial and gender inequality, emphasizing the need to assist the poor, and urging the Vietnam War to come to an end. She overcame all barriers that came in her way. Even at one time, she was blocked from speaking at a primary debate. Prior to her passing, Shirley Chisholm said, "I want to be remembered as a woman who dared to be the catalyst of change."
Is to begin to prepare America for the fact that someday Blacks will leave this country, that someday women will leave this country. That's what this is all about.
Shirley Chisholm is a historical figure for all of us to know, more than just Black people. That's all the time we have for this week. If you'd like to learn more, join us on Wednesday, February 3rd for the Black Student Union meeting at 12:35, or tune in next week for the next episode. Thank you.
I'm excited for the next episode. Thank you, Analia and Tavia, for putting this series together. And remember, Aztecs, BSU is looking for new members to join, so if you found this video interesting and you want to learn more about the culture in a safe space, this is the place to do it. Also, this week is Black Lives Matter of Action at schools. Believe it or not, this was started and established in 2016. What does that look like in our schools? Well, let's take a look at this informational video about Black Lives Matter in school.
What is happening in our schools today is heartbreaking.
This is one of the racist rants discovered Monday at Oak Park River Forest High School.
Our kids are being called the N-word. We have white students who think it's okay to come to school for Halloween with a KKK mask.
1.6 million children in this country go to a school where there's a police officer but no counselor.
Educators in Washington State are 90% white.
I'm not getting the education that I need as a Black male.
The people who have done the conquering have been the ones that we've been lauding in school.
Kobe, who's in the 9th grade at Pearland High School, was studying immigration when he read this in his textbook, a comment that referenced African slaves as workers.
All I ever see is us being slaves, you know? Like, why don't you ever teach me, how we fought back? Because I know my people are strong.
A referee at a high school wrestling match in New Jersey told a wrestler he had to cut his dreadlocks or forfeit the match.
I see people around me who are hurt, and it is wrong to not speak up.
Black Lives Matter at school is a declaration that Black students deserve to be taught the truth and that their lives have value.
It gives students not only of color but of other races and ethnicities a chance to see different cultures.
We have lessons for every single day, Monday through Friday. So there's about 2 to 3 principles per day that are connected.
We participated in this last year, and a lot of feedback we got from educators who have never really experienced ethnic studies in the classroom was that their students were more engaged in this content than they had ever seen before.
I learned so much through that really empowered me as a black male. This is probably the first time I really was excited about school. You know, it's something that I'm passionate about now.
Welcome back to K Films Like a Teacher, because filming disturbances part 2. So I did want to say, in some other news, some sports have been given their tentative start date for their season, and some of those sports are cross country, February 8th, swim and dive, February 15th, girls golf, February 15th, boys golf, February 22nd, co-ed tennis, February 22nd, track and field, February 22nd. If you are planning on playing or interested in trying out for one of these sports, make sure to follow the requirements prior to the tentative date scheduled. You will need to be cleared and have a physical on file. Before you go, our very own KMMI's Miley Bautista has some tips for you on how to boost your serotonin.
Are you no longer feeling fly like a G6? Do you need a little extra happiness in your life? Well, here are 3 ways to boost your serotonin levels. You know what isn't very cash money? Being locked away in quarantine. But you know what is cash money? Hanging out with your friends and loved ones. So make sure to message and check in on them. Set up a day to watch a movie together, or even play games together. I know they want to lose at Brawlhalla. Getting nice air and some exercise is a great way to clear your mind of negative thoughts. So go for a nice bike ride or skate around the neighborhood. Maybe even take a nice walk. Remember to wear a mask and social distance. Feeling down? Made some comfort food but feel guilty? Well, don't. After all, serotonin is stored in the gut. And above all, if that doesn't work,
thanks, Smiley, for that entertaining and useful information. And that was our show for today, Aztecs. Remember, in order to keep up with all of our videos, be sure to subscribe to KMMI's Academy YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram at KMMI News. And a quote from Gary Vaynerchuk is, "Positivity always wins. Always." I'm Kayla Franco for KMMI News. I hope you guys have a great week.